I was never really good at math growing up, but I definitely see the importance now as an adult. If we pay attention to the mathematics, we can predict the future. You can also see a problem coming from a mile away with mathematics. Math is logic. Sergeant Willie Pete is always talking about numbers. Most of the time it annoys the mess out of me, but it's logical. So with that said, we're about to get into mathematics today. The opposite of plus is minus. If you are not adding to the black community, you're taking away from the black community. As most conscious black people know, the black community is divided a number of times. Therefore, we cannot multiply. You're either positive or negative. There are no neutrals. If you are zero, that means you don't exist. Most of us black folk running around here thinking that we're neutral and we're not contributing or subtracting from the situation. But it's either one or the other. Yeah, it's a really tough cookie to swallow. When you think about it, the majority of us are subtracting from the situation. The minority of us are contributing to the situation and trying to make things right. As black people, we are very prideful. We never want to admit when we're wrong. But admitting that we're wrong is the first step to change. No matter how much you can daydream and fantasize, reality is reality. And the reality is, most of us are jacked up. I know what you're already thinking. You thinking that I'm talking about the black people who are like strung out on drugs, the black people who are in prison, these terrible black families that you hear about on the news doing dumb stuff with their kids. No, I'm talking about our mindset. Our mindset is jacked up. You know we jacked up. You know we jacked up when we gotta go out and buy hair to look pretty when everybody else go out and grow their own. You know we jacked up when we go in the supermarket and don't know the names of half of the vegetables in the produce department. When there's more single parents than married couples. When the messages in our music are practically worthless. When black men don't want black women. When black women don't want black men. When our historically black colleges and universities are losing accreditation right and left. When Jay-Z is the role model for most of our young black men and Beyonce is the role model for most of our young black girls. When black women don't want to take no responsibility for nothing, like they weren't doing nothing this whole time, it was all done by the men. When black women don't want to take no responsibility for nothing, like they weren't doing nothing this whole time, it was all done by the men. When black women don't want to take no responsibility for nothing, like they weren't doing nothing this whole time, it was all done by the men. Get what I'm saying? It's all about numbers, people. Negatives and positives. Do the math.